What's up, folks? My name is Felix. Welcome back to another Rugpull season episode. In this case, this is an episode about a project which already has rugpulled. It was another trading protocol which was considered, if we refer to some YouTubers, as safe and stood the test of time. But now, of course, summitventures also rugpulled. They distributed around 12 to 24% average monthly return to all the stakers in the platform. That's at least what they advertised and what they distributed to the people. We can see that if we jump over to the dep and here the rewards which have been paid out to the stakers, especially here in week 30, the last week of operation, was of course the highest rewards, the highest inflow of capital probably, and that's why they pulled the plug. I, for example, got contacted of one of the founders or marketing guy or whatever this dude did. And here we can see what they wrote to me. CEO is doxed and KYC'd. UK registered and based company, blah blah blah. Bot already in action for 2 years, generating the advertised returns, full transparency. So the same BS we saw in all those other projects. I can mention here Stable Fund, I can mention PGV, I can mention Wolf Capital, Delta Ventures, Green Figures, all the bigger ones. There might have been a lot more which also rugpulled, but those just came to my mind. Now, summitventures, again, a project which, if we jump over to YouTube again and scroll through these videos, through those video titles, was considered here as stood the test of time. This was one of the titles which I saw. It was just 8 days ago. This was probably the last marketing push. Also at the time, I was contacted by them on 14th of September here to market the project, and then it of course went down. For example, if we search for the Telegram group, user does not exist. I replied here in this case, said, guys, what makes you different? You know what happened to all the other trading protocols. Here in this case, I was referring to Green Figures because it rug pulled short before that happened. And yeah, basically he sent me a message. Our CEO is willing to share her passport confidentially with trustworthy external marketing partners, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, sounds good. So we never came to an agreement or anything similar because it was all very shady. So many red flags, all was coming very soon, all the AMAs, proof of funds, and this is most of the time very likely an exit point of such a protocol, and that's what happened a few days ago. If we jump back to the homepage, we can see that it says now live for 225 days, so we expected to rug pull around 5 days ago. And yeah, calculate a little bit, we can divide this by 7, then we can see how many weeks it was up. It was around 32 weeks, and if we calculate it with an estimate of 4%, which they distributed per week, can multiply that by 4, and you can see if you got your profit outs every single week, you just made around 25% in this project, even if you were in from day one. So you might ask yourself, still worth it to getting in those trading protocols, even if you're early, even that you know that those will very likely rug pull? Well, in this case, at least from my perspective, it was not worth it at all. And that's why I didn't cover, for example, projects like Green Figure, like Delta Ventures, like summitventures, because it's always the same thing what happens to these kind of protocols. I did, of course, talk about Wolf Capital, for example, here on this channel, but I also made a video one day before everything crashed down that I got out because I had these concerns, which I mentioned in several videos before, and that's what I always do on this channel. Even it might be a legit project, even it might look too good to be true, there's always some things concerning about these kind of protocols, and if you want to see such kind of content, this might be the right place for you. Last thing I wanted to show you, or second last thing, is if we jump over to Moonark, because I also did my research over here with chatting with some guys about the rug pull of summitventures. Then they also wrote here Telegram gone, and then I scrolled through this conversation over here, and a funny thing was another guy mentioned, so he's referring to Big Whale will be the next rug, and I scrolled further and most of these guys also said, yeah, of course, it's a guaranteed rug. So this is what I'm thinking as well. Big Whale here in this case will be a rug pull very soon. I said I expect it to happen in the next 2 to 3 months, Probably it will happen within this time. Completely depends on how much liquidity will move in and out of the platform, because those guys are not making these lending returns. But I will make another dedicated video on this topic, because those guys were making fun of my channel, and they also said I deleted their comment. But all of this will be topic of another video on the big whale scam. So the last thing you should do before you leave summitventures and disconnect your wallet from the dApp, you should revoke the access to your stablecoins, because it seems, I have not been involved, that you had to invest with BUSD, and if you gave access to your coins, you should now immediately revoke it, because otherwise those guys can drain your wallet and you will lose even more. You can therefore go to revoke.cash, just connect your wallet and revoke the access by just confirming a transaction, which just costs you some cents of gas fees. That should do it for today's video. If you liked it, would be great if you can hit the like button. If you wanna share your opinion on summitventures, feel free to do it down in the comment section. And if you don't wanna miss future videos, again, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.